Blast me to Electia! It's time for the Mad Merlins Warhammer 40,000 Imperium Journey, Issue 46, Part 3, Gallery, Rules and Playthrough. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Mad Merlins Warhammer 40,000 Imperium Journey. So we have our painted models from issue 46, and this is just up to the magazine standard, and I really do like them. They are a nice, simple and effective scheme for our sisters. I have actually quite enjoyed doing the edge highlighting on the silver and gold, which I normally struggle with. I found it a lot easier taking my time on these models, and they are looking really snazzy. So we've got our two Seraphim on their flight stands. They are temporarily blue tacked together, as I'm going to make sure I can reach all the detail for painting these girls. Same for the Battle Sisters. Their backpacks are still loose, but they hold on nicely with a bit of friction, so I can easily access all the details in behind them. The Archiflagellant and the Repentia are fully built, but they are very open models and very easy to get to all that detail. So, like I said, just following the magazine tutorial for these, and they are turning out to be quite some nice looking models. Can't wait for us to get new paints in future issues and new paint guides for when we come to doing the big frame in issue 49, which has the Penitent Engine, 2 Repentia, 1 Archiflagellant, Seraphim Superior, 4 Battle Sisters, and the Mistress of Repentance. Yeah. So there we have our gallery. So moving on, we got our rules for issue 46, and it is just our battle sheets for the Sisters and the Seraphim. So these are much like the Adeptus Mechanicus. They have a fixed equipment. So we got 6 models with bolt guns, 1 with a flamer, 1 with a storm bolter, 1 with a bolt gun and simulacrum banner, and the sister has a chainsword and bolt gun. And all models have bolt pistols and frag and crack grenades. So we've got all the different weapons there. The rules for the simulacrum, which allows a squad with the simulacrum in it to perform an act of faith, even if another unit has done an act of faith. So we'll get more information on that in a future issue. Then we've got their abilities, Act of Faith, Sacred Rites, and Shield of Faith. So we have the Sacred Rites rules. Shield of Faith and Act of Faith will be coming in a future issue. But the Shield of Faith is, I believe, they always have a 6-up invulnerable save. And the Act of Faith allows them to make certain rerolls, improve their strength and stuff like that. Each unit has it. It used to be each unit has its own different act of faith, but now it's gone back to how it used to be in being an army-wide sort of rule, which is pretty cool. Much how I remember the Sisters of 3rd edition. And then finally we've got our Seraphim squad. So this is a basic squad. Again, so 4 models with 2 bolt pistols, and the Superior has a plasma pistol and power sword. And they all have frag and crack grenades. Full box of Seraphim allows you to take either twin hand flamers for 1 in 5 or twin inferno pistols for 1 in 5. So I'm planning on getting 1 box of Seraphim, the full multi-part kit, build them up as Zephyrim, and then have the different pistol weapons to go onto my spare Seraphim models. So the other rules they have are the Acts of Faith, Sacred Rites, Shield of Faith, much like all the units in the army. They have the Angelic Visage, so their invulnerable save from the Shield of Faith is increased by 1, so they'll always have a 5+ invulnerable save. And then they got their Sky Strike rule, which means they can set up in high orbit and descend upon the battlefield. So they can be easily held in strategic reserve and set up later on in game. On the back, we got some tutorials, one for the Angelic Visage, so +1 to their Shield of Faith. Yeah. Actually says here, so Shield of Faith grants all units of this rule the ability of a 6+ invulnerable save. Save cannot be modified by the AP of weapons. Seraphims improve this save by 1. Now we got a tutorial for their Sky Strike rule. So that's it for all our rules. Our next mission then is head for the surface. So we've got the Necrons hunting down the Adeptus Sororitas, and it's only a pretty small mission. We're using a single game mat. We only have small forces on each side. So the Overlord, 2 Immortals, 2 Scarabs, and the Wraith, 1 Canoness, 3 Battle Sisters, 2 Seraphim, and the Assault Intercessors. So we just use map 38, placing the terrain as it shows. Then we score victory points for each unit that was destroyed during their turn. Players score 2 victory points for defeating the enemy warlord. Player at the end of 5 turns with the most points is victorious. It doesn't actually say it lasts for 5 turns, but I'm guessing it will do. Unless it is just a... It doesn't say how long it goes, but I'll do 5 turns just so we don't take too long on it. So anyway, we'll get that set up and I'll be right back. So we are all deployed. We've got the 3 Assault Intercessors, 3 Battle Sisters, and the Canoness down here. I've put the 2 Seraphim in Deep Strike. Then we've got the 2 Immortals, 2 Scarab Swarms, and the Overlord over there with the Wraith in Strategic Reserve, just so we can get a little bit more used to those rules. And this is pretty much a play until they all go away kind of mission. So the attackers are the Necrons, attacking the retreating Imperial forces. So here we go with head for the surface. Trapped inside the Necron-infested hive of Electia Prime, scattered bands of Imperial soldiers fight their way towards the surface and the safety offered by the Basilica of St. Marcius. The Canoness has formed a small force comprised of surviving Battle Sisters, a trio of Assault Intercessors, and 2 graceful and deadly Seraphim. She must make use of her newfound allies if she is to breach the Necron lines and return to her place of worship. Necrons, Overlord, hunt them down. The Necrons have seized larger areas of the hive, but are yet to crush all resistance. Their Overlord, keen to press its current advantage, has located the enemy commander and chosen to personally lead a small force to intercept and eliminate his opposing number, thereby shifting the conflict in the Necrons' favour. Adeptus Sororitas, Canoness, breakout. With her shock troops depleted by heavy fighting, the Canoness has only a small force available to her. Her forces must survive the Necron ambush, eliminate their enemies, and clear a path through the Administratum districts to the surface of the moon. She must pray that the Emperor protects. So, our battlefield is prepared. Our enemies met. And it's time to determine who gets turn 1. Holy yellow for the Seraphim Sisters and green for the Necrons. That's 2 6s. The Necrons get first turn. So, I'll play turn 1 and we'll be right back. That was a pretty quick turn. Didn't get to shoot at much. You couldn't see anything over the pipelines. The Necrons hugged the ruins over here. The Imperial forces spread themselves out, hopefully to deny a little area. So we'll go with turn 2 and hopefully bolt guns will fly. On an exciting turn 2. So there's been a lot of combats going on. Everything's come in quite nicely, so you can't quite see, but the Seraphim are there, just on the edge of the board. The Canoptic Wraith came in, failed his charge, but the Canoness was feeling gutsy and went up to try and clobber him, but seeing how easy he went down last time, to shooting wasn't exactly the same as going up and chopping it. I managed to do 1 wound with Plasma Pistol on its way in, but the Wraith managed to shrug off her Power Sword attacks. Scarabs and Sisters here are so far still pretty even. They've lost 1 sister, but we've dealt 2 wounds. The Immortals has suffered 1 loss. Both units that have lost models passed the morale test, so those can be removed. And there's still no victory points, as we haven't wiped out complete units yet. So we've got turn 3 coming up. I think it's time we change that. I forgot to reanimate, and I just did, and my Immortal is back up. So yeah, continuing with turn 3. Turn 3 has come to an end, and the Battle Sisters have finally fallen, although that was a kill in their own turn, so the Necrons didn't score a point for that. The Seraphim charged in and clobbered the Wraith to death with bolt pistols, and scored them 1 point. The Necrons scored a single point in their turn, as the Overlord came in and just wiped out all 3 Assault Intercessors with 1 swing of his scythe. Yeah. So much for the -1 to hit. He still managed to hit with everything. Well, everything except 1. Anti-Juice attacks does -4 with 3 damage, so those poor Assault Intercessors would not have survived. Canoness, though, is sitting on 3 wounds now, so her main battle tactic to do is to survive, really. So unfortunately, those Scarabs are looking to make a short meal out of her, so we just have to hope and see that they survive a little longer. But here we go with turn 4. So turn 4 didn't go too well for the Sisters. I decided to try and put as much damage on the Scarabs as I could, and my Canoness overcharged with her pistol and blew herself up. True, it denies the Necrons points, but providing the Necrons can reach and kill the Seraphim in their next turn on turn 5, they'll win by 1 point anyway. I did lose a single Seraphim to the Scarabs, so I will fail on... Oh, I can't really fail. 6 + 1 is 7, and leadership is 8, so they're fine. But it is on to turn 5, which will be the final turn regardless. And as the Necrons go first, they can easily charge in and wipe out our remaining Seraphim. And barely 2 minutes later, game is over. Rather, as soon as I saw that setup, I always thought this mission was going to go only one way, and it went that one way. Having the Overlord alone in this force is way overpowering for the Necrons. The Canoness can only just go toe-to-toe with him. Maybe geared up with some relics, she might do a little bit better than him. The Wraith did a little better than last time. He didn't just sit there and get shot to pieces. He actually managed to do some damage in combat. And I can't wait to get more of them, actually. See how a big unit of them do. But anyway, that is it for issue 46. So another Necron win, but let's see what's in our next Imperium. So issue 47, we get 2 new paints, Pink Horror and Wild Rider Red. So we'll be highlighting our cloaks and our purity seals, weapon hafts, and even the robes on the Mechanicum and the Battle Sisters, hopefully. So we get new Adeptus Sororitas rules, so we get a battle record and data sheets for the Arcoflagellants and the Repentiers. And then we get a battle for Electia that continues. So we've got another new battle, which we'll probably be using the stuff we haven't used in this issue. Can't wait for that. Then 48, we have final Ruined Factorum. We learn about the Dark Angels, and we learn all about the Imperial Creed. So we have our fourth and final ruin. I'll be painting mine up red to match my previous one that I've done for this dispatch. And I can't wait to show off both of those in use on one mat. So that'll be quite nice. Speaking of issues after 48, we know now 49 is the command frame for the Battle Sisters. So you get 4 Battle Sisters, including a Superior, Flamer, the Stormbolter, and the Simulacrum. We get the Seraphim Superior with a Power Sword and Plasma Pistol. We get the Repentia Mistress, 2 Repentia, 1 Arco Flagellant, and the big bad Penitent Engine. I really can't wait to get hold of that guy. It'll be quite nice to paint. I didn't get around to actually painting my last one, as I sold my sisters before getting around to him. I really lost a lot of interest in the sisters at the time, but getting the models through this sort of really giving me the love back for them. I'm liking how they're painting it in the magazine, and I've also gotten a nice little paint guide for my own order. Then in issue 50 we get probably the best Necrons issue in the entire collection, which is the Royal Court. So we get a Scorpec Lord, who is just all sorts of evil. We get a Plasmancer, who is a Cryptek that benefits shooting a little bit better, and I think he does something to overcharge opponents' plasma weaponry. I can't remember, I have to check the rules on him. We get 2 Crypto Thralls, which are bodyguards for the Crypteks. So a lot of people don't use them, but in games for the magazine, I think we'll be using them quite a lot. They give pretty much an extra wound per model to our Crypteks, and they can be used by any Cryptek. And the last thing we get on that frame is the Canoptek Reanimator. So this is going to give our Necron warriors yet more survivability. So that is the next 4 issues of Imperium for you. So super exciting issues ahead. But anyway, things I would have done differently, probably keep the Canonists out of combat and don't overcharge plasmas, especially if you rolled 2 1s, no, 1-1 on the previous turn and had 2 good shots with it before that. I might replay this one actually later today if I don't have much energy to do anything else. And I'll see if I can get a different result. But I don't think much difference will occur. I think definitely planning on being more survivable is a better thing to do. I think I'll hold everyone back, keep a defensive position. Necrons, there's not a lot really that I could have done any different. It's literally just march forward, charge, shoot if you get the chance, and let the Overlord slice through anything that moves. But there we have it. I would like to take this moment to thank you all for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, please leave a like. And if you have any questions, please leave a comment in down below. There are, of course, my affiliate links and my social media links in the description down below, and my Buy Me a Coffee channel if you would like to help support the channel out at all. So, I will see you next time then for more mad content. Goodbye.